How's it going, guys? And today I got a short little video for you. Yes, I got a short video. Not that short actually. It's gonna be quite long because I'm actually split into two videos because there's a lot of material I'm gonna cover. Mostly gonna cover infantry gameplay, how to improve your KDR, stuff like positioning and aim, and as you'll see, this Max kind of just eats a rocket to the face. Probably? Yeah. And I just finished them off. Awesome. Thank you, Max. Alright guys, so this next clip is going to be covering something called Recursion. And I think it's a great tool to sort of track your stats per session, set proper goals based on hard numbers. At least that's how I like to do it. A lot of you are going to say, oh, it's for stat padding turbo versions, but you know, I don't think that's true. I think it is a great way, especially if you're just starting out, to kind of see the hard numbers, to kind of be able to set proper goals for yourself. You know, as you can see in the upper right hand corner, you got that overlay with the headshot rate, kills, KDR, all that good stuff. So great tool in my opinion. Definitely give it a download and turn it on when you play, just so you can kind of track your progress. Alrighty guys, so in the next clip here, I am going to be talking about positioning. It's a very important skill to be able to analyze a map, especially in these big fights. I am actually playing Infiltrator here, and I'm going to be flanking around, and I actually end up running into some of their snipers. So anyways, you can see how the enemy is on one side of the map, and the allies, or you can't really see it, but they're there on the other side of the yellow line. And the green bubble that I'm about to draw, that kind of shows you where I'm going to be trying to run towards. Snipers are all up in that hill. Red line is sort of where you kind of don't want to go unless you're like a heavy assault or a max or something, because it's a clusterfuck. Green circle, that is where the enemy sunder is. And just a quick little note, you don't want to stand between the objective and the spawn point, because even if you are able to kill one, like 10 of his friends will be following behind, and they'll probably just shoot you in the back. That's always not fun. So just avoid that whole area and dance within that little bubbly green bubble area. Alright guys, so I am just going to dodge these two tanks who have no idea of my presence. Run right past them, and you'll see me sort of recharge my cloak at this point, because it's always good as an infiltrator to try to go into a fight on a full cloak, especially if you're going to go out in the open like this. You never know how much cloak duration you're going to need. So I'm sort of scoping out the snipers here as I make my way towards their sunder. Just try to take them all out, help my team a little bit. I tag out the other guy, and I notice at this point they have a recon detect device which will show exactly where I am because of my movement. I hear the commissioner and the cloak go off behind me, so I kind of jump and turn around, take him out. And at this point I am an idiot, and I didn't notice the little dots, red dots on the minimap showing a bunch of medics coming to revive everyone I just killed. Very sad, very sad. So here I'm speeding up the footage. I've marked the other side of the battle just because it's good as an infiltrator to sort of switch up your approach, so it's harder for them to see which way you're coming from. Take out the motion spotter here, and here I have the high ground advantage because I see an infiltrator's coming. So I take him out. He has no idea which way I was going to be dropping from, but he had his eyes focused on ground level, and that is, mainly why light assaults are so popular, because they always have that height advantage. And you can sort of replicate that as an infiltrator, especially with rocks in Hassan, or actually any continent has those sort of rocks where you can kind of just perch up on there for a hot second and just jump down and take them out. Here I'm right behind their Sunday, and as discussed earlier, you want to avoid getting in between the Sunday and the A point, because if you notice, that's where they're all looking. So I'm sort of behind, their flanks, taking out their snipers, helping out my team. Take out this guy here, as well as the light assault here, and I think I get taken out because they've noticed me. Yep. Okay, so in this next clip, I got a pop quiz for you guys. I want you guys to tell me where you think the front lines are. I froze the frame here. take a look at the minimap in the lower left-hand side, and just sort of make a mental note of where you think the front line will be. Now, you may be wondering why I am putting down so many infiltrator clips. The reason why is because it's probably the easiest class to use as far as recognizing flanking opportunities in big battles such as these. Especially when you're outside, the infiltrator is just so powerful with its cloaking, so many ways to escape, and all that good stuff. Oh, and quick note, I zoomed in on the minimap just so you guys can see this better. But if you notice in the upper left-hand corner, that icon for the turret is pointed towards our sunder. That tells me that an engineer set it up in that orientation because he believes his flank is secure. So that is sort of the flank we're going to be exploiting. Alright, so zooming back out, you'll see I drew in a yellow line, and that means that's where I think the front lines of the engagement will be. For those that got it, or at least something similar, good job. And you will see how I exploit the flank. And so you'll see I'm running along sort of out of the way of the entire engagement, but I do notice there are a couple of guys in that rock, or at least next to the rock. You'll see me do the high ground trick again with the rocks. Take out the engineer here, and guys, this is really important that you loop around to the back and always flank. That's super important as far as an infiltrator goes. And also what's really important is going for headshots where you have an easy shot like that. It really helps take down that, especially heavies, take down that shield really fast. Sort of make a goof here, guys. You'll see me not finish that infiltrator off. It's because I thought I had enough bullets in him to take him out. Usually when you use a weapon long enough, you can kind of feel the time to kill rather than just getting the hit or the kill notification. But a friendly ended up killing him, so I make my way towards those turrets, start suppressing our team. And you'll notice that I'm not going directly at him, I'm sort of going like a slight loop, so I'm coming towards their side. So I'm not directly in their line of sight or line of fire. I see the other engineer pop out, kill him with headshots. And I sort of take a breather here in the reeds, or in the grass rather. It's really important to know what plants actually exist versus what plants aren't actually there. What I mean by that is I have my flora settings and my graphical settings turned all the way off, so I can tell, you know, exactly what plants are there. Depending on your flora setting, the plants may or may not exist. And the last thing you want is to hide in a bush that actually is not rendering for the enemy team, and you're just sitting out in the middle of the open and you just get screwed. Here is another good point. It's about to come up. I'm taking some shots at infiltrator, and I take some fire. It's like a headshot from a automatic weapon, and I back off. When you're taking fire like that, especially when you're not playing heavy assault, it's just best to re-engage and reset the battle. Alright guys, so I've got a cool little trick for you in case if you want to get around clusterfucks at amp stations, especially where you're in the situations where the front gate is just flooded with bullets and cannon fire and tanks, and it's just a huge mess. So essentially what you want to do is just run up to one of these side towers, jump onto the foot, and then onto the white part, and then run jump to the ledge, spam space, and profit. Don't worry guys, we'll go over this one more time. Alright, half speed. Running up to the side here. Notice the engineer with the flashing repair thing. Running up the foot. Okay, you guys got that part? We're running up the white part. Kind of balance on there. Then I run jump, spam space. Run jump, spam space. And then you killed him. You killed the engineer. Good job, guys. Great job. Alright. So the next topic I want to cover for you guys is cover. Yes, we're going to cover cover. And it's very, very important. Good for you if you made it this far. Very important topic. Sort of in the middle of a clusterfuck battle right here. And you can see I kind of wedged myself behind these crates. Very hard for them to get to me. I'm 80-80 strafing just to avoid any snipers, so I'm not such an easy target. And as you can see, I got kind of line of sight on the stairwell, doorway as well as that rooftop for any light assaults. This sort of ability to pick out good spots like this is very important, and being able to even just limit your exposure to the enemy is also a crucial skill. Rel actually made a video, I think, on positioning cover, which is really, really good. You guys should check it out. But as you can see from the footage here, I am just, locking down this entire choke point. I'm not even an engineer, I don't even have a turret, I'm just hiding behind these crates, and it's working out really well for me. I would say this is probably one of the more extreme examples of using cover. As you can see, I'm just sort of hunkering down as this LMG turret, and right at this point this guy's trying to do the same thing back to me. He's hiding behind that crate. We exchange a few headshots, but I do get him in the end. But yeah, as I was saying, this is sort of an extreme example, but it really just shows you the power of just limiting your exposure to the enemy. If you're running gun, more run and gun type style of a player, the principle still applies. You should just always limit your exposure to the enemy and how many different ways they can get to you. So guys, the next thing I want to talk about is I guess more cover stuff, but it's really how to approach a corner. Pieing a corner or slicing a corner, whatever you want to call it. It's basically the idea of just kind of peeking out and peeking in a way that limits your exposure to the enemy when you're dealing with multiple targets. As you can see, I'm sort of dancing back and forth from this sort of entryway, just so if they decide to pursue me, I kind of back up a little bit and I'm able to take them out, instead of just being right at the edge here. And you can see the guy here is hiding behind that crate, so I decide to throw a grenade at him. And he comes running towards me, and as I turn around, I just take him out with my hip fire. He might have been low already, which is why he was so easy to take out. So just in case if you guys need more of a visualization for this concept, I drew out a diagram for you guys, and I'm just going to color code it here. Blue is going to be friendly, red is going to be an enemy. As you can see, there are 5 enemies on the other side. So you kind of make your way to the door so that you are only limiting your line of sight to 1 enemy at a time. So you're turning the situation into a one-on-one. As you can see here, your line of sight is just to that 1 enemy on the right. And as you make a wide sweeping turn, you're only going to expose yourself to 1 enemy at a time. This is sort of a best case scenario, of course. Obviously this is not always going to work. There are going to be situations where there's just too many enemies, but this is a solid tactic to use. So the last bit was all theoretical. This is sort of more what's realistically is going to happen. So I'm splicing the door here, or slicing the door. I peek a little bit, I see the max, so I back off. Again, I'm trying to slice the door here, take out this enemy medic, heal myself, and I attempt to do this. But this is sort of where reality sets in, is there's always going to be stuff happening around. I have to, not get too tunnel visioned here. And again, being very, very careful, doing a wide turn. I take out the enemy medic again. I try to take out the guy who revived him, but I get interrupted by the engineer, who gets taken out by me after I jump and chase him. So this is just sort of like, you're not going to have the perfect situation like on the diagram where, well, very rarely will you ever have the diagram where, you have 5 enemies lined up, staying still, not noticing they're dying, and no one else coming at you. I'm sure once in a while you'll come across a situation like that, but the vast majority of the time you're becoming across situations like this. So takeaway message, guys, is just not to run straight through a corner or straight through a door, but rather to make large sweeps to hopefully pick off 1 enemy at a time. Not always going to work out perfectly, as I've shown in this footage, but it's just really the whole idea of limiting your exposure to the enemy fire. Alright guys, so the next clip here is originally was supposed to be showing the front lines and the division and how to flank and all that. As you can see, I'm just trying to take the sideways route, but I ended up running to something interesting here. So I take fire from this guy, and he just kind of disappears. I'm thinking he's running the other way, and I keep checking. I couldn't come across him. So sometimes it helps to take the high ground, because they're not going to be looking this way. And as you can see, he just totally missed me because he wasn't expecting me to go through the top. Alright, so this isn't really the end. I'm not crying. But, oh god, I gotta sneeze. Oh god, really just terrible allergies this season. Yeah, this isn't the end. I'm gonna post another video on AIM shortly, maybe about a week or so. Hope this has been helpful. Just sort of remember to always kind of be patient. Don't go running into situations. Use positioning to your advantage. Use cover to your advantage. In the background here, you'll see the some gameplay that I think exemplifies all the points that I made. But yeah, so if you liked the video, go ahead and dunk on that like button. Also hit subscribe if you want to see when my next video is coming out. It'll be about aim and landing those tricky headshots. Please hit the comment button and start commenting away. I'm looking for suggestions, how I can improve, things like that. Also am looking for some tips from you guys, from the community, that I can put into future videos. If you come up with a good one, I'll go ahead and put it in with a little call out to you. And again, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Alrighty guys, peace.